As we move towards 2014, the race is on. Not the actual races, but the primary challenges for who will be running in the Senate for 2014. And oddly enough, when you look at the actual serious challenges that are being waged in the primaries against established Senate candidates, almost all of them are against Republicans, which is an interesting little, I guess, consequence of the political environment we live in. Let's bring up the map. Here you can see the different states where serious primary challenges have been launched. Obviously, the ones in red against Republicans, the one in blue against a Democrat. Let's get that out of the way first. You have Senator Brian Schatz. Now, he has never run for Senate in Hawaii. He was appointed there after the death of Senator Inouye. Now, what's most controversial about that is apparently the dying senator's wish was that the person who's challenging him now, Colleen Hanabusa, would be appointed to that position. She is now actually in a primary contest against Brian Schatz. I don't know where I stand on that. I don't know that the dying wishes of the senator necessarily matter that much, but it does seem odd that they went in a different direction, and it would be interesting if she ended up running for Senate anyway. But there you see that the vast majority are against Republicans, and as you might expect, based on the past few electoral cycles, most of the people challenging them are Tea Party candidates. And they will make the case that they need to run because the current Republican Party is just not conservative enough. It's not defending their values and advancing their political goals. Well, I did a little bit of research and I looked up the American Conservative Union, like many organizations, does rankings every year where they judge based on a number of sample votes how conservative a senator is. And so if it's true that these Tea Party candidates have to run because these Republican senators are just so damn liberal lately, you'd imagine that their ratings would be pretty low. Well, let's look at a couple of these. First, Senator Mitch McConnell, currently the leader of the Senate Republicans. He has a 100% rating with the American Conservative Union over the course of the last year, a 90.9% rating over his entire lifespan in the Senate. If you could bring up the map for a second, we'll jump over to Tennessee. Lamar Alexander, 77% rating, lifetime. We've got Lindsey Graham, 89% rating. John Cornyn, 93% rating. Mike Enzi up in Wyoming, 92.73% lifetime rating. And Pat Robertson at an 86.47% rating. It is not my belief that the American Conservative Union makes it super easy to get these high ratings for the Republicans, and so I imagine that they actually stand for something, especially when many of the Democrats actually get a 0. It seems like that rating means something. And so the level of political and ideological insanity that would lead to Mike Enzi, John Cornyn, Mitch McConnell, he hasn't allowed anything to be done for about 5 years in the Senate, but he's obstructing the conservative message. He's stopping you from advancing your Ted Cruz fantasies of ultimate conservative power in America. That seems pretty ridiculous, I think. Now, obviously, the establishment Republicans are not very happy with this. They like having those seats, and they know from the past few elections that when you put these crazy Tea Partiers up against Democrats, sometimes they lose. We saw that in the case of generally comments about abortion rights and things like that. They say crazy things, or in Christine O'Donnell's position, or in her example, she just doesn't know anything about politics and she used to be a witch. You don't win Senate elections in that way. And so you can expect that if they win all these primary battles, a couple of those seats will be lost that could have been won if they'd had an establishment Republican. Granted, I don't want either of them, but I'm just talking about from their point of view. Now, when it comes to the Democrats, we have a statement from the National Republican Senatorial Committee leader, Brad Dayspring. He's talking about the Democrats that are not being primaried, and he's not happy about it. He says, Democratic senators running for re-election are far outside the mainstream in their states, and their liberal voting records show it. They voted with President Obama between 90 to 95% of the time in states where his approval rating is under 40%, trying to show out that they are oddly loyal to their president in states where they should have a hard time getting reelected. They go on to say, in other words, it's pretty hard to get to the left of Mary Landrieu in Louisiana, Kay Hagan in North Carolina, Mark Begich in Alaska, Gene Shaheen in New Hampshire, or Mark Udall in Colorado and be at all viable. They finish by saying these senators are already too extreme and liberal for their states, which is a big reason why all of their numbers are plummeting. Now, I've criticized the Tea Party a lot there. I'm going to criticize Brad Dayspring here. If you think that Mary Landrieu and Kay Hagan can't be attacked from the left, I don't know what country or time period you live in. They are some of, now Mark Begich, generally pretty liberal. Mark Udall, I don't have a ton of problems with him. But in terms of Mary Landrieu and Kay Hagan, you're out of your freaking mind. They can't be primaried from the left, and very well should be primaried from the left. I generally think that primaries are a good thing, regardless of your voting record. If nothing else, it tells you that over the next 6 years, you do have to worry about future primaries. And so whether it's Republicans or whether it's Democrats, I generally think that it's not the worst thing in the world to get them out of some of their complacency and understand that at the end of the day, they have to listen to the voters in the states who are voting in the primary challenges and not just to their donors, the people who actually they communicate with during their term in the Senate.